It is time. It's workshop day. Hello. Welcome, everyone.
Hello, hello.
We're super glad you're here with us today. I see Candace. How you doing? We've got Washington, South Carolina. Where else? Winnipeg, Idaho, Florida.
Ohio.
Cool. Welcome.
It's Tuesday, workshop day.
It is. Yep.
That's fun. I'm excited for this one.
I am too. I am wearing the appropriate colors for today's. I feel like I blend nicely.
I didn't match well today.
But I'm also so hot. It's so hot in here, and I'm drinking coffee, so mistakes were made. But that's okay. That's okay. So welcome to day one of our Shooting Star workshop. You're in for a treat. This is so beautiful. I feel like this could be done in lots of different colors. Mm-hmm. And we like the V word, the versatile, versatility. Yep. And this has that. So we're very excited to share some really cool things with you today. It is a beautiful fall day in Ohio. It's actually warm in Ohio.
It's so warm.
But it's so windy.
Yes, you might blow away
so
if you
windy.
go outside.
But okay. So we're going to jump in here for the day, and we can already see some of it over here in the camera. But we should probably start by introducing ourselves. Mm-hmm. So Sarah Congdon is my sister.
Hello.
And she is the designer and digitizer on this project, as well as several others. So she's going to be walking us through how to make this today. My name's Aubrey Ellerbrock, and she was joking with me and said she was going to change this slide to put Aubrey does nothing at the bottom.
You know, I always kind of read it and go through it, and today I was like, I'm tempted just to change it and see if she catches it during the live.
I probably wouldn't notice, but somebody would. And of course, we are not the Hoop Sisters, but we are sisters that work at Hoop Sisters. Our mom and aunt are the Hoop Sisters, which is Linda Remmers there in the middle in the blue, and then Annie Moody is another co-founder there in the floral top as well. So nice little family business we got over here, and we are including you in that. We consider you our family too, so we've adopted you all. If you are brand new around here, I always like to ask that you drop a number 1 in the comments, just because we'd love to welcome you, say hi, and just extend a warm welcome. And if you are one of those people who are like, I am not a number 1, I've been here a long time, give us a number 2 in the comments, because we love and appreciate you, and we want to give you a shout out as well. So get those numbers popped into the screen there. Okay, Sarah, what is a Hoop Sisters workshop? So if somebody's like, never done this
what am I doing
before,
here?
What is it? What are we doing?
Well, first of all, we're excited that you're here. If you've never done a workshop before, I hope you have fun with us. I think we try to have fun most of the time, maybe pick on each other a little bit. But what a Hoop Sisters workshop is a free to attend virtual event for embroidery machine lovers. So if you love an embroidery machine, you love creating with it, I think you're going to love this, because what we do during these workshops is we showcase a brand new design that is just released when we go live. We'll show you exactly how to stitch it, trim it, join the blocks together. And one of the really cool parts, if you love the design, you can take advantage of some special bundle pricing that we'll get more into later.
Yeah, and that's just while you're in workshop. So it's really nice, because we're going to probably show you something, especially if you're number 1, that you didn't even know you could do to this extent on your embroidery machine. And Sarah's going to make it nice and easy and take you through how it all works. So that will be fantastic. Okay, moving right along. The other thing that we love to do is, if you register in advance of our workshops, you get a free gift. So it's just our thank you for hanging out with us, letting us know you're going to attend. And it also just gives you a chance to get stitching, see our instructions, play with all the different things that we offer. We've given away, I don't even know, 20 freebies this year, something crazy like that.
A lot of them.
And so with this workshop, the free gift was the quilted star block. Do you want to hold that up?
Yeah, just a cute little, it's very, very simple, but it's a great way, especially if you dropped a number 1 and this is your first workshop, a great way to get involved at no cost to you, just for joining us today and registering.
And you can make as many of those as you want.
That's right.
That's perfect. Okay, now back over here. We also do have some participating shops from Calico Cat Sewing Center in Lake Jackson, Texas, over to Quilter's Yard in Junction City, Kansas. And we have Sewing Concepts in Woodstock, Illinois, and Sewing Studio in Hudson, Illinois. So if you're located near either of these shops, any of these shops, you can shop with them, and they do have this in store. If you don't have a shop near you, totally fine. You can order from us today. Stay tuned and we'll tell you how to get the best deal. But basically what we're hoping that you walk away from this workshop with is, first and foremost, knowledge of some tools that are key to what we do.
Yeah, because you'll see these things in our instructions. So we'll talk about why we use Battleizer and what Battleizer is, and why we use water-soluble thread, which sounds crazy.
Right.
But it's great to use.
So we'll talk about that. And then also we're going to show you, Sarah's going to actually stitch out a block live. So you'll walk away with that information. And then tomorrow we'll come back with trimming, pinning, and joining. So you're going to have fun. You're going to learn a lot. And yeah, what else?
Yeah,
what
sorry,
else?
I was reading a comment. Did I hear you?
Yeah, I was like, what are you staring at?
Yeah, and then tomorrow, I don't, if you said this, I apologize if you did. I was reading and not listening like I should be. Tomorrow we'll do trimming, pinning, and joining. So that's, you can stitch a block in the machine. That is so easy to do. We'll show you that part today. Tomorrow we'll show you how to turn those blocks into a quilt.
Yes, 100%. Okay, we also feel like it's worth mentioning that we have a real life customer service person who is ready to help you. She's in the comments. She is actually, we're streaming 2 places right now, and she's in comments in both places. Her name is Nina Gladden. It might say Hoop Sisters and it's Nina, or it might say Nina Gladden with Hoop Sisters. And so just know that she's there to help you as much as she can in the comments, but also feel free to contact her after the workshop is over, after the live today. If you have specific questions about maybe what your cart looks like or how to download something, if you go that route, she can definitely help you. If you have more of a personalized question, I highly recommend just calling her or emailing her after the live, and she will be able to give you the best customer service possible. Okay, so do you guys want to see it? You guys ready to see it?
More than this?
More than what's in the camera right now? Okay. And Maggie, awesome. Maggie said she's been here since 2019, so she's definitely a number 2. Well, we're glad. Okay, so let's show this beautiful design. Are we going to hold it up, or do you want to just do the demo cam?
Let's hold it up first.
Okay, we're going to hold it up first, and then we're going to give you some close-ups, because the close-ups are really nice, but we want you to get the overall feel too.
Right. So this is Shooting Stars. Now this, we're going to get into more details in a second. This is one of the layouts that
just
you can
one
do. And you can customize this design to make it larger, to make it smaller, to kind of fit what you want it to fit. So it's just a couple basic blocks. I guess I can show this in the close-up a little bit better. But your center block, so here's one of your blocks, and then here's another block, and then your border block, obviously. Let's put this under this close-up cam.
Yeah, let's do that
a little bit more. Okay, so again, here's our center block. I love the quilting on this block. It stands out so well, so pretty. And this is such a simple block to do, because all it is one piece of fabric and the beautiful quilting. And by the way, I have to mention, the quilting is included.
Oh, we didn't even talk about this yet. That's a really good point, because you are not going to have to take this and get it long armed or buy separate quilting files to get this look. When you order it, you get this.
The camera looks like it kind of can't focus. It's kind of jumping around a little, so sorry about that. But yeah, quilting is included, and there's beautiful quilting on the border today. I'm going to stitch a border block so that you can see that quilting a little bit better. And then even just the straight line quilting adds a lot of dimension. Now this one is done without wool. This sample does not have any wool in it. I want to bring a sample over that is actually the table runner layout for this, and I want to show you the design with wool.
And I gotta say, honestly, this is the first design that I've been like, holy wool.
There's a
like,
huge difference.
Huge difference
Yes.
in this.
Yes. Ooh, sorry, I just smacked the camera with it.
And we'll hold this layout, and I have pictures too. But I mean, can you guys pick up this wool?
Yeah,
it's
dimension
amazing.
In there is great. And I gotta say, if you've been around a while, we typically tell you don't use wool in a table topper because when you're setting things on it, it might kind of make it a little. The best word I can think of right now is wobbly, and that's the worst word. You guys get what I'm saying. I'm gonna go against the grain here, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of a different tip for this one. I would use wool in my table runner for this one. Obviously, be mindful of what you're setting on it, because you're going to have a little bit of dimension in these areas. But I just think it is so stunning with wool. It shows off the quilting so well. It's just so pretty, guys, and it's so simple, but has, I don't know, it's just really striking.
It's elegant, for sure.
So, again, if you're doing the table topper, I would try it with some wool and see what you think, because I think it just really pops with that quilting.
It really does. Okay, I have a couple images too, because it's hard to fit this in our close-up cam, and it's hard to hold it up and for you guys to get the full effect. And if you are a number 2, you understand it's just different when you see it in person. It's always better when you see it in person. And the wool in this one, I think it's just incredibly striking. So here is one of the pictures with this layout. So we talked about versatility, right? So versatility in terms of wall hanging, versatility in terms of table runner, but I also threw it on the bed. And look at the amazing bed runner it creates.
Because this wall hanging, so this is an 8-inch block that I just showed you on the close-up cam. It's big. It is long. So those of you that have really long tables, you're going to love this. If you don't have a really long table, it's great because you can kind of customize it and do a few less rows and it'll be a little bit smaller. It comes in 5 and 8 inch too. So you get those multiple sizes. We'll get into all that, but I do love it as a bed runner. I think when we first made it, we were like, that would be really pretty as that.
Yes. You're saying wool. Are you talking about the battleizer? Okay, we're talking about wool in addition to the battleizer.
And I'll show you. I'm actually going to use wool in my demonstration today, so you'll kind of see what we're talking about.
Great question. Okay, and so here's kind of some details on this. Again, versatile also in terms of we're doing you got a 5-inch and an 8-inch block size included. So that's fantastic. Also, if you're new around here, these are all multi-formatted. So no matter what machine brand you use, we've got you covered. So as long as you have at least a 5-inch sewing field, you can do this. And again, everything from wall hanging, table runner, bed runner. So lots of cool stuff there. This I'm saying
you were just
sooner
flying through your presentation.
I know. I'm saying this sooner today because I know the questions will come. Okay. Yes, we have fabric kits today, and they're gorgeous. In fact, Sarah, I almost think you should open this up and we should walk through that. And we haven't even stitched yet, but we're only 14 minutes in, so it'll be fine.
She won't let me do what I want to do.
She's unboxing.
Okay, so fabric kits. If you've never purchased a fabric kit from us, okay, I'll be honest, they do go quickly. We have a limited supply of fabric kits.
And we'll have Nina drop the order link.
You can see our fabrics here. So they come in this nice little bundle. You're going to get a fabric kit just kind of telling you yardage. When you receive it, pull this out, pull all your fabrics out, measure them.
Yes.
Make sure they are cut appropriately because we want to make sure you get what we promise that we're sending to you. So there's that. And this has all the information on it, which we will also provide in our VIP group as well. But just all the fabric information, the colors, the designer, things like that.
Yep.
Okay, so this is just
it's so pretty.
It has so many different colors in it that are just beautiful. We really focused on kind of this purpley pink color. Thought it was really pretty. Went with, I think this is like a dusty rose color, and then kind of the darker of the purples that's in here. And then I think this is your binding. It's the same as pictured on my sample right here. So your border and your binding are a print. Your background is the white. And then
and enough to make the 8-inch size.
Yes, enough to make the 8-inch wall hanging. You can also make the 8-inch table runner if you want to. I will say, I think the binding might be a little short because this is more geared toward the wall hanging, the kit is, but you'll have enough of the other fabrics, might just be a little short on the binding. But you could still do that, especially if you're stitching a row or two less for the 8-inch table runner.
Perfect.
But again, perfect fabric for the 8-inch wall hanging. So there is that fabric.
And I will say we always have limited supply of the fabric kits, number one. Number two, if you're purchasing this from your local quilt shop, get some fabric from them. Okay. So just kind of both of those things all wrapped up into one. And here's a picture of the wall hanging layout. And again, no wool in this one. I can tell a significant difference. Yeah. They're both gorgeous. But the wool to me is like amazing. The
wool really helps show off the quilting in this one.
Okay. Are you ready to do what you actually want to do? Okay. Someone asked the name of the fabric. So this is from Poppy Cotton. This is from Michael Miller.
And we'll put it in the Facebook VIP group later after the live.
Yep.
I'm going to head over here. Aubrey, why don't I use this microphone? You want to try that? Okay, you should all be able to hear me. Let's see. Let me get my machine back to where I need it. Oh no, my lights just turned on again. Let me turn these lights off because I do think it's easier to see without these on. Okay, so over here I have my battleizer in the hoop already. Battleizer, for those who are not familiar, is our batting and stabilizer combination. So this is just one product that I'm putting in the hoop. I don't need two separate products. I don't need a hoop, a stabilizer, add a batting on top. Just putting the battleizer in the hoop. And then I went ahead and I did step one. Step one, you'll use a water-soluble thread and you're gonna sew your placement stitch. So this is just kind of the outline of my block. And I'm doing my border block here. That's why it looks like a rectangle, not a square. Just to note, I did say you'll use a water-soluble thread. I used a blue thread just so we can see it on camera a little bit better. And normally I skip this in demonstrations, but I wanted to do it today because, again, I like this one with wool a lot. I think it really shows off that quilting. So I have my additional wool batting. This will help add that extra loft and dimension on there. And I press the edges. Can you see how I press the edges? I think you can kind of see that right down here. Pressed them in about 1/4 inch. What this does is this flattens those edges so that when I take my wool and I align it in my placement stitch, I can tack this down without my foot getting caught in the edge of the wool. And you're going to sew this zigzag tack down with a water-soluble thread as well. Now, another thing to note that I should have mentioned before I started this last step was if you're using the wool, you want to make sure that you're raising your presser foot so it just skims over the wool nicely. That's another thing that will help you from getting your foot caught in the wool. So for this next step, we're going to sew the placement stitch right onto the wool. We're still using water-soluble thread when you're stitching. And you'll see as it's stitching, I'm kind of guiding my presser foot a little by just pushing down on my wool gently. If you don't want to use your fingers because you've run them over before, I get it. I get it. Just use a stylus for this part so that you don't have your fingers close to that. Okay, so we've got our placement stitch stitched here. And I do want to point out, I did miss tacking down on the top my wool a little bit. It'll be totally fine because I'm about to tack down my fabric right over top of that, and it will keep that nice and secure. Okay. So now I have my border fabric cut, and I just cut everything using the supply list that's included in your instructions. Tells you exactly what size to cut all of your fabrics. So I'm going to take my border fabric and I'm going to align that within that placement stitch. I do want to kind of lift up on each of the sides, make sure I have about a 1/4 inch at least past those placement stitches. So I'm going to just keep kind of tugging at it. And I do want maybe about a 1/2 inch of fabric or so on this outside edge at the top right here. So now I'm going to use still a water soluble thread, and I'm going to tack down my border fabric. Okay, so my border fabric is tacked down. If you had a little bit more than a 1/4 inch of fabric on the inside edges of the block, so along this line and along this line, you might want to use your hoop scissors. I like to use my hoop scissors mini in the hoop, but you might want to use your hoop scissors and trim this area about a scant 1/4 inch. You're going to leave that excess fabric along the outside edge of the block, but mine looks pretty good. One of the great things about quilting in the hoop is it does not have to be perfect. You've got room for error because it's all digitized to stitch exactly where it should. Okay, so now for this next part, I have my next piece of fabric that again is cut according to my supply chart. I'm going to take my triangle, lay it right side down. I'm going to place my raw edges approximately even with my border fabric. It doesn't have to be perfect for that reason that I just mentioned, that it's digitized to stitch this seam exactly where it should. So if you've got a little more overhang and it's not quite perfect, it's okay. In fact, if you use a dark fabric for your border fabric, you might want this fabric to kind of overhang a little bit so that it doesn't show through. So now we're going to switch to a neutral thread in the needle, and I'm just going to keep my blue thread in there. That's perfect for this step, and we'll sew our seam.
Got some different wild colors going on.
I know. Okay, now before I move on to this step, I'm going to take my fabric. Let me move my machine, or my hoop rather. Well, that didn't really help, did it?
It's hard to get stuff on camera.
Okay, we're going to leave it here. I'm not going to keep moving it on you guys. You'll see what I mean. So before I move on to this step, I'm going to take my fabric that I just stitched that seam for, turn it right side up, finger press, and smooth out my fabric. We're not going to tack it down quite yet. Just make sure that it's flipped right side up. So we're going to do the same thing with our next piece of fabric, this triangular piece. We're going to lay it right side down on the other side. The raw edges are approximately even with my border fabric. And then still with that same neutral thread, we'll sew our seam. Okay, and now same thing on this side. Take our fabric, turn it right side up, finger press and smooth out our fabric. And now with a water-soluble thread, we'll tack down around the edges of the block. Okay, I'll show you. You know what? I'm going to show you why we use water-soluble thread using one of our other samples in a moment. But you will see primarily we're using water-soluble thread and anything that's stitching those basting stitches right around the edge. And that's because when we join our blocks, if we don't catch the basting stitches perfectly, those can just wash away. So that's why we recommend water-soluble thread. You are not going to use it to join your blocks. Okay, I'm going to change my thread to a contrasting thread. You can use any color thread you want to use. I'm going to switch this over to a contrasting because I want to be able to see it really well on camera.
And Pat asked, is there enough fabric in the kit to do an 8-inch block for the wall hanging?
Yes, that's what the kit is intended for, is the 8-inch wall hanging. You got it, Pat. Okay, this step is going to sew the quilting on our 2 points right here. Fran, we do not use water-soluble thread in the bobbin, only in the needle. Let me know while this is stitching if you guys have any questions for us. I see lots of stars comments. You must be doing a giveaway, Aubrey. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is almost finished up over on this side. It's going to come over to this side and stitch that same quilting. In the meantime, Aubrey, do you want me to mute my mic while this is stitching and you can take it away with some of your presentation? Yeah. Some of your info? Let me know when you're muted.
All right, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I want to, and let me know in the comments, or I'm sure Nina will let me know if you guys can't hear me, but let's talk sizing. We talked about it briefly, but it does include the 5-inch block size and the 8-inch block size, which is really nice. And on top of that, no, there's no bonus today, Catherine, no bonus, okay? We have a little surprise, but no bonus. 5-inch and 8-inch, it's all multi-formatted, so no matter what manufacturer's machine you're using, you can use it. And we have the wall hanging approximate finish sizes. The 5-inch will be 20 inches by 30 inches. If you do the 8-inch wall hanging, which this is the one that there's enough fabric in the kit to do the 8-inch wall hanging, the dimensions on that will be approximately 31 inches by 46 and a half inches. Now the table runner layout also comes in 5-inch and 8-inch. The 5-inch is 15 inches by 40 inches, and the 8-inch is 23.25 inches by 62 inches. So it's quite a big, long table runner for sure. Pat says Sarah makes it look so easy.
Oh, it is easy, Pat. You can do it.
She says it's easy. Thank you, Ruth, for letting me know you can hear everything okay. All right. Sarah, do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, you can keep going. This is almost done, but you've got time for another slide or so.
Okay. I'm trying to add something to the stage and it's not. Okay, there we go. All right. So we do have, we like to do a create your own bundle when we do workshops, and it gets you 10% off when you bundle. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want in your bundle. So there's a category on the website, and we'll have Nina drop the link. And so everything within that category can be included into your bundle. There are a few exceptions, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But when you do that, you'll get 10% off. And that's only during workshops. So today and tomorrow. So it'll all expire Wednesday, November 6th. So the couple exclusions are the wool, the strip stick, which we haven't talked about yet, and any threads. So those things are not included in the Create Your Own bundle, but we have a lot of really good things that are, and we'll talk about what those are in just a moment as well.
Can I start my last
step
and then
go for it?
Okay.
Do you want to unmute?
Oh, yeah, that's helpful. Okay, so I think you should be able to hear me. Let me know if you can't in the comments. But we're on our very last step. So this is a really quick border block. This is the reason I wanted to use a solid up here, because I want you guys to be able to see this really pretty quilting. I'm going to use a contrasting thread. I've already changed it in my needle, and I'll just hit start and we can see this quilting. Just love this quilting. Love the wool with it. Great combination. Belinda asked if these are stiff quilts or are they still comfy. I think they're still comfy, Belinda. I will be honest, when you add that wool, it's going to add a little bit of weight to it. So if you really want to cozy up with it, you can kind of maybe stitch one block with wool, stitch one block without wool, and see what your preference is. But I definitely think it's still comfy. Part of the magic of it too is that battleizer that you're just hooping the one product that you're building your block on. And what the battleizer is it just has the scrim of a stabilizer on the back with the batting kind of on top, all pressed into one product. So it makes it really nice to stitch on. Okay, so there's our border block. I'm going to mute myself again, Aubrey, and I'll send it back over to you. Maybe I'll mute myself. Let's see.
All right. Sarah and I share an office. I wish I could mute you more often.
Hey.
Just kidding.
Oh, man. That's actually nice. Sometimes we say nasty things.
No, we don't. So anyways, the workshop, if you are interested in ordering, it's the best time to do it because you do get the 10% off when you do the Create Your Own bundle. So this is what that would look like. Again, this time around, there's no bonus, but the shooting star design, you can see the after workshop price and then the during the workshop price. And then same with the battleizer and the fabric kit. So in this scenario, I put 3 things in the bundle. So you can do more than 2, but I just wanted you to see what that would shake out to be. And by the way, you can add the wool, the thread, and all that stuff. You just won't get 10% off that specific item.
But you know what it goes to.
But it does. Tell them what that does.
It goes to your free
wool.
shipping. Yeah. So you can get free shipping until tomorrow night at midnight if you add $120 worth of product to your cart.
Yes.
So your subtotal reaches $120, and this is after promotions. So after promotions, if you get to $120 in your cart, you'll get free shipping, so you can save even more.
Yes, and that free shipping is always within the contiguous US. So if you're interested in the wool, I saw someone said, but that's what I want. I want the wool. It'll still count towards that. It's just not our product. It's a quilter's dream product, and it's fantastic, by the way. Okay, so moving right along, here is what we're talking about with tools, okay? So the whole top row are Hoop Sisters products, and they are included in the promotion for the 10% off. Do you want to grab one of those battleizers and we can show them what that looks like if they're new around here? Our scissors are included, our trimmer, which we're going to go over tomorrow. I always like to share this slide on day one because if you're putting an order together, you might want to get some of these extra things that we haven't even talked about yet.
Yeah, so this is, while we're talking about battleizer, can I share a couple things? This is the 5-yard battleizer. It also comes in a 15-yard bolt. 15-yard bolt, by the way, is included in the promotion. So it's included in the 10% off promotion, included in the free shipping promotion. If you are looking at making if you're making a 5-inch, you can do it with, whether it's the table runner or the wall hanging, you can do it with the 5-yard battleizer. If you're making an 8-inch, you might think about upgrading to the 15-yard because it's probably going to take, and this is an estimate because all of our hoop sizes are different, but it's going to take 7 to 9 yards of battleizer. I recommend using Frankenbat to maybe stretch that battleizer so that
and
you're
maybe
not
we
throwing
can
away
show
your waste.
more on Frankenbat tomorrow too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to actually pull this camera up, Sarah, because I want them to get an idea of what this pack actually looks like. This is the 5-yard pack. It's 24 inches wide, so it hoops up really nice. This is the battleizer. And then I also noticed you got that out, and I thought we could talk about that real quick
So
too.
someone asked why we use water-soluble thread, and I kind of explained when you're stitching your blocks together, this is obviously a completely different design, but when you're stitching your blocks together, when you use water-soluble thread for those basting stitches, if you don't catch them perfectly when you're joining your blocks together, those stitches can just wash away. So you can see this white thread right here. This is a water-soluble thread. If we wanted to, we could pop this sample in the washing machine and these stitches would disappear, or you could just get dab it with like a damp Q-tip or something.
And your quilt will not fall apart.
Yeah, that's right, because you're not using water-soluble thread to join your blocks, just for those basting stitches.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I thought that would be helpful to talk about as well. All right. So that's basically a wrap on day one. I feel like we covered everything really fast.
We did.
I don't know why.
We did.
But let's talk about what we're going to do tomorrow.
So tomorrow I will trim using the trimmer by George. If you're not familiar with it, come back tomorrow because I'm going to show you how to trim up this block that I stitched out. This is the center block that I made ahead of time. So we're going to trim it with our trimmer by George, which is a great acrylic ruler with a metal edge on it. And I'll show you why there's that metal edge and how to remove all that bulk right up to that basting stitch. And then I'll also show you the anchor point pinning technique, which is a great technique to get your blocks to align really nicely when you're joining them. And then obviously joining.
There you go. Perfect. Okay. And then Roberta said she's using her trimmer today.
Awesome.
I am going to star this so you can look at that. Okay. So we also are going to have the giveaway announcement in just a moment, but I do want to make sure we answer that question. And I also want to remind you all that if you have any questions that maybe we didn't see or get to, or it's specific to your cart and your order and all that, we'll pop Nina's contact information up on the screen as well. Couple questions I see in here, Sarah.
That one's running away from you.
I know.
Let's trying to answer them real quick before we move on. Want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one, Chris over on Facebook wants to know, when doing a table topper, do you add anything to the back before the fabric backing for stability? No, Chris, we don't. And I think you've probably made a few of our wall hangings before, like our 3 blocks and stuff. It's backed the same way. We don't add anything to it. Just add our 1-piece backing and it's a beautiful table runner.
Okay.
Will the 15-yard of battleizer qualify for free shipping? Yes, Trisha, it certainly will.
Well, it counts toward it.
Yeah,
counts toward it.
Yeah. As long as you hit that $120 threshold, yep, it qualifies for it.
Yes. Could we see the project again? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Let's show the project again. In fact,
let me move all my stuff.
And I don't know, maybe we should hold it up so they can see like the
size.
It's a nice big.
It is big.
Yes. Okay.
Let's show it over here since I've got it laying down.
Hold on. I'm distracted because I want to make sure. I'm making sure I got all these questions. Okay. All right. Over here.
Okay. So here's the close-up of it. Can you move that comment?
Yes.
Here's the close-up of it. So this is a small section of it. We're going to hold it up in a minute. This is one of the two layouts that are included in the instructions on how to make, including the supply list and fabric requirements and everything. This is our table runner. We'll show you the wall hanging in a minute, but just the really beautiful center block with the amazing quilting. And again, if you weren't here at the beginning, this is a table runner. It does have wool in it. And I really think wool looks spectacular in this. So even though we always say don't use wool in a table runner, I would cheat and use wool in a table runner.
She's breaking her own rules this time.
That's right. And then this is just a really simple block, a lot like the border block we just stitched. Simple stitch and flip and just simple straight line quilting, but it really, really pops, especially when you're using that wool. So let's hold. You want to try to hold this up? I know it's not all going to fit on camera.
Yeah, but I think if we hold it this way.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We're going to fumble a little, but then you can, then you can at least see. Maybe we'll just go like this down the line. And there's two versions. So this is what we're calling the table runner.
Right. Or it would be awesome as a bed runner.
Oh yeah.
Aubrey had a picture of it as a bed runner and it was just really pretty. And yeah, this one is big. I think it was 62 inches long. If you want it to be a little bit smaller and you still want to use those 8-inch blocks, my recommendation would maybe just be to edit out these last 2 rows and just add your border along here and it'll make it smaller. So you can kind of play with the size that you want.
So that's
our fabric kit does have fabric specifically for our sample sizes.
So that's just one layout. We'll show you the other layout as well, which we're calling the wall hanging.
And this is the 5-inch block.
I'm turning it even though,
oh my gosh,
I don't know which way you'd put it on the wall, but I think it fits in the screen better like this.
Yeah, but this is our 5-inch block and this is our wall hanging layout. And again, you can do the same things with this one. You can make it larger if you want, kind of adapt it to what you want it to fit.
Very pretty.
Yep.
Okay. So that's the project. It does have a fabric kit on the website too. And I will pop these sizes up one more time because we are kind of working with 2 different layouts and all that kind of stuff. So the wall hanging that we have listed on here is the second sample that we just held up. And then the table runner layout was kind of that first one we just now held up. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. All right. So the only thing left to do, I did star 2 things. If you want to look at that, but I am going to do the giveaway now. So if you haven't yet done so, type the word stars in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. If you're watching live, type the word stars and we're going to go ahead and do our giveaway.
So while she's doing this, I see 2 questions over from YouTube. One was from Lynn. You said, are you going to place the back? Lynn, I'm not sure what you mean by that question. So if you could kind of elaborate, that would be helpful. And then another one, I think just said YouTube user. And now I don't remember, but give us a moment and I'll read it.
So I shared my screen and they went away.
I thought I could remember. I should have known I couldn't.
All right. Peggy Hicks over on YouTube. It's your lucky day. Congrats. And you just won $50 in store credit, which is super cool. And I'm going to go ahead and pop up what you need to do. I have it in here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Okay, here we go. There's what you need to do. Get a hold of Nina. You have 5 days to let her know that you just won the giveaway. And I'm going to get rid of that banner too. Okay, Sarah. So here was...
Oh, the other question from... It says YouTube user, so I'm not sure your name. I'm sorry. It says, do you show how to do the edging on the runner? Again, I'm not sure exactly what your question is. So if you could clarify in comments, and I'll try to look for that. And if we see it, we'll we'll answer it.
Okay, cool. I just see a lot of congratulations in the comments. Okay, so now is the time. If you are just here learning, that's totally fine too. But if this is something that you think you might want to make, now is a fantastic time to order. We've got the 10% off on the Create Your Own bundle. We've got free shipping within the contiguous US on orders over 120. So lots of fun things that you can put in your cart. There's also in that category, there are a couple other downloadable designs. And so if you are just going, you know what, I'm international, I don't want to have the shipping costs and time and shipping and all that, you can do the downloadable route. And if you do 2 downloads, you'd get 10% off those as well. So check that out. I see Nina has dropped the order link in both places. So you guys should be all set. And if you have any questions at all, reach out.
One more question I do want to answer before we hop off. I did say this earlier when we were showing the fabric kit. This also is in the description of the fabric kit. The fabric kit is intended to make the 8-inch blocks for the wall hanging. You are going to have most of your fabric to make the 8-inch blocks for the table runner. The only fabric that you might be a little bit short on is that binding. So just keep that in mind if you're making that. All of this information is on that product. It's really intended for the wall hanging. You're still going to have enough fabric for the 8-inch table runner. You might just want to shop your stash for the binding on that.
There you go. Okay, good to know. And then Fran, that's a really great question as well. These are all automatic discounts. So you don't have to have a coupon code. If you start adding stuff to your cart, it's going to give you the best deal based on what you've added to your cart. So if you want to get the free shipping and you're in the US, you just got to get your order to $120 after discounts. And then if you are creating a bundle, those 10% at your cart level will kick in automatically, which is great. So
can I just give a shout out to Susan, who's watching from Poland?
Oh my gosh, cool.
That's awesome. Welcome, Susan.
Yeah. What time is it in Poland? I don't know. Well, we're glad you're here. Okay. So we will be back tomorrow and we are going to be doing trimming, joining, pinning. I forgot pinning before joining. But here's the deal, guys. If you have extra questions about something, drop them in here or email them to Nina and I will twist her arm and get her to show you some other stuff too.
Yeah.
So we're here to navigate this for you. So you give it a whirl. Morning in New Zealand. Good morning, Pam.
Wednesday. Wow. That makes sense, I guess.
We're late to the party. It's already Wednesday over there. Okay, cool. Well, we are super excited to see what you guys create. Go grab those fabric kits before they sell out, and we will be back here tomorrow to have some more fun.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
Bye-bye.